Can I talk to you, lady? Just the other day, I ran into a good old friend of yours, and I had to ask her, how have you been? She told me you were engaged and happy. My heart fell to the floor, I know it should have been me, but I couldn't see you with no one else. But I'll believe it when I see you standing. I'll believe it to tell you how I feel. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it. Forever, baby. I thought I was invincible, no one could take my place. I still get funny feelings when I see your face. I know the love we share was so real. In spite of all the ups and downs that we've been through, sometimes I wish I was there with you to share your world. You were my girl, I'm still in love with you. But I know you better off with, 'cause obviously it wasn't meant to be. I'm so glad to see you happy. But your love and life goes on. We had to go our separate ways. You found someone for you, I found someone for me. Oh, but I believe it. I see you standing. I believe it. Can I tell you how I feel? You're leaving me forever, baby. Please, baby, listen here. See, I got down on my knees and I began to beg the Lord, please don't let it be known. You better be careful, baby, be careful. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your head when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language. You ain't said a word, but I know what you feel. 'Cause I can hear your body language saying, come on, song. The message is clear. Let me pause, babe. You look so good. To gather my thoughts, make sure I'm hearing you right. Baby, slow my bed if I am mistaken, 'cause love will be making. I can see it in your eyes. I'm watching every move you make. Yeah. Don't go too fast and don't be late. Oh no, all the time you need to take. That's what it's saying. That's what you're saying, baby. You know me when you're rest to go. I'll be ready once for yes and twice for no. Brush up against me nice and slow. Real slow. Nobody's saying it's about to explode. About to explode. And here, nobody I know what.
What's going on, people? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Kris the Critic show.
What's up?
I am Kris. This is Gina B.
How are you? You've been watching us clown in the studio for the last couple minutes.
We have been. That always, we're here, but we're just doing some little fine tuning.
That's right.
Prepping for you. Just looks like random chaos. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Hopefully, you're watching us somewhere safe.
Yes, hopefully so.
Happy. How was your week, Gina B?
Good, busy. Like I'm just doing some renovations in my dad's house. So
You're the greatest daughter ever. If I've never told you that, you are.
You're very sweet.
I have 3 daughters. I hope someone renovates my home one day.
Listen, it's all part of the parental maintenance process. But yeah, no, good. Other than that, just enjoying the good weather. We're in August now. Leo country. I'm not a Leo.
It is, we're on the down slope of the summer season. Cuffing season is still upon us. Hence today's show.
We're trying to get y'all ready.
Listen, this show exists because it's not always as easy to find that special someone.
It isn't.
I mean, think about when you were like in grade school. Everybody was right there sitting around you. You like this person or you like that person, and it just sort of went on, and you didn't have to plan. You had another day to see him if you said something dumb. It's not like that now.
And also in your 20s, like when you go out in your 20s,
everybody's out.
Everyone is a lot to love about your 20s, right? Because everyone's in the same kind of boat, right?
Correct.
Very few people are married. Some people have kids, whatever. But the majority of people are out on the scene, right? And it's fun because it's like your own playing around. You get older, it's like, okay, well, people are like not going out as much. Everyone's job could be kind of consuming. It's harder to meet people. Where do you go? It's really more of a challenge to date.
I think it is an extreme challenge. And now that we are a lot of us watching this show over 35.
Right?
Just Slightly. Some a little more than others.
Some a little.
But you're right. It was great back then.
Yeah.
Our producer's a younger guy. Ron, are you there?
I am here.
Is it? I mean, how's dating for you? Do you feel like there's just a plethora of women out there everywhere?
It's plentiful.
See what I'm saying? To be young again.
He's like, it is awesome.
I hate that guy. No, it's funny. That's good stuff. So you may not get that many chances to make, I know it sounds cliche, you may not get another chance to make a first impression.
But you might not.
So this show, some of you have seen it, some of you are joining us for the first time. We are going back to the basics.
I'm trying to pull up all the comments is what I'm doing right now.
We're doing the do's and don'ts
of
dating.
Yes.
No random order. I've done my fair share of dating.
Not you.
A little bit.
Just slightly.
I'm off the market, ladies. It's over. But
I know you're sad, everybody.
I got some stories to tell. So the reason this show exists is to help those. So those of you who are married out there, you can join too. Share some dating stories. And again, life is busy. Life is busier than ever before.
It is. It's really, and then not only that, but like think of COVID, right? Like, so think of like all the people that aren't going anywhere. Like there's no social, I mean, now there's more of a social life, but for the last year plus, people have been kind of stuck in their homes doing online dating.
And we're going to talk about that too. But before we start, I want to see how real the audience is.
Yep. Tell us.
I need this to help fuel the information for the show. I'm going to share. I normally don't do it. Yes, I do. I'm going to share one of the bigger mistakes I've made on a date.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Circle of trust.
Wait.
This stays here. And then I would encourage you to do the same. And maybe we'll review some after
Go
the
for
break.
it.
Gina B, at least you do it because you have to because you're here.
I'm here.
All right, so.
No problem.
And it can be humiliating. But why are we doing this? Because the purpose of this show is to help those who are in the dating scene. It's a relationship show. So hopefully somebody can learn from it. And yes, these were mistakes. And I will go first before I go through. I got pages and pages of do's and don'ts. So if we run out of stuff, we won't run out of stuff. So one of the don'ts to do. I hate even saying I did something like this. I overspent on a first date with a person. Not once, but twice.
With the same person?
With the same person.
So what does that mean?
I'll get into that.
Okay.
Just to find out she already had a man.
Okay.
So it was early, mid 90-ish.
Okay.
She reminded me of Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett was hot back then. She was in Inkwell, Menace or something like that. One of them Wayans movies. She was cute. This girl reminded me of Jada. So I just entered, almost told my age. Let's just say I went to a restaurant that I normally wouldn't go to.
He was almost 40.
On a first, right, exactly. I went to a restaurant that I normally wouldn't go to, spending a huge budget.
Did you go to Gibson's?
Hugo Frogs,
Oh, right next door.
something on Oak Street.
Yep.
They shared the same kitchen, so she had to be home sort of early. Which
'Cause she
I'm
had a
thinking to
man.
myself, damn, I just spent all this bread.
Bitch, you going home with me.
She did say, oh, that was a nice restaurant. Had a good time. I got to get home. And I'm like, well, she lived with her grandmother, so maybe that's why. Maybe she had to help her grandmother, right? So
Yeah.
it happened again. And I'm thinking, I don't even know if I kissed this girl yet. And here I am out a few $100s at an early age. Right now, veteran me would have, I wouldn't even been in that situation.
Had you watched the Eddie Murphy stand-up at that point?
I don't know. I was infatuated because, again, I thought it was a Jada Pinkett lookalike, right? Now, I probably would have even made it a third time. Man, I hate to say this, but men are some simple creatures.
Simple.
She, I guess, felt some sort of remorse. Said, let me cook for you. So I was like, oh, man, I'm invited over.
You're invited over. That's cool.
I'm good for this.
That's dope.
She made spaghetti. I think I mentioned I like spaghetti.
Okay.
During the meal,
Spaghetti's not
this is
hard,
when I
but
found
okay.
out where you really stand. I found out, she said, oh, I hate to rush you. She got to hurry up.
Slurp it up and get the fuck out.
My man is on his way over. I'm like, what the? You got a man? Now,
At least you didn't live with him, though.
at least I was like, okay, man, I got a meal out of it. So, long story short, I ate my meal. I broke. And that's when you find out you're a possible side piece. Which, in your early 20s, if you're a guy or a gal, and not saying I was the most scrupulous guy.
You're like, what's your man got to do with me?
I did eventually. I'm just saying. I'm not just making that up.
Of course.
She's watching the show. You can ask her.
Comment if you're that person.
So if you've ever, but that's what, so one of the don'ts, and these are not in order, do not spend too much money on a date. Don't invest too much into a person before you know where it's going.
Right.
It's a simple thing, but hey, my money is, I ain't got tons of unlimited amount. So
I'm going to counter that, though.
what you got?
Okay, this isn't my embarrassing moment, but I'll give you a cautionary tale. So I went on a date with a guy I met at a party. He was reasonably cute, whatever.
Right?
And we went to this bar, and it was a really nice place. And when I showed up purposely, like just a couple minutes late, so he would be there already.
You showed up late? That's a don't, but go ahead.
I know. No, like 3 or 4 minutes late. Like he had just arrived and gotten a table, and then I walked in. That's what I kind of wanted to do. And then before I could get my right butt cheek into the couch, into the booth really good, he was like, okay, I'll tell you what. How about I get the first round and you get the next round?
Oh, he said that to you?
Yeah. And so as far as I'm concerned, right, if you are already splitting up shit, like I just sat down, then this is not a date as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
now you're telling me what I need to spend. So therefore I treated it like it wasn't a date. And it was,
Did he back that up with something like, hey, by the way,
Nothing.
I'm the best lover in the world?
Oh, hell no. No.
He just said,
and
you know what?
Never gonna like ever be able to show me whether or not he was a good. I was just like, dude, you know what? If I can't even sit in the booth,
I made sure I was
talking
getting
about who's splitting what.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think so. So, and I don't mind. Like, I'm not the person who really
Right.
like if you don't have money or whatever. That's
And that's
okay,
something before he even opened his mouth. I would never lead with that if I'm a guy.
I mean,
But-
literally, I couldn't even sit down.
But if you
before him
got
telling
it,
me that.
if you're in a place where you have to lead with that, fellas, do
Don't
it before
go
you
out.
do it before you get out. Maybe she's okay with it.
have coffee.
Absolutely. Oh, you read my notes.
I did not.
Okay.
But I know Kris got a list. But,
I do have a list.
I mean, but realistically, it's the wrong way to start a date is to start talking about what you're not going to pay for.
Exactly. I'm reading exactly, and that was a great example.
That way.
So,
And I'll even kick us off with my bad thing I did. I'll even start the next one if you want.
You have another. Wait a minute. I want to read it. Karen Allen said she gave some good ones. Rule number 1: don't offer dating advice that you don't follow yourself.
Right. I've got one to piggyback off of that.
I don't know. People can give you good advice that they don't follow.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your single friends will keep you single.
Again,
Don't listen.
you are in my list. That's
Great
a don't.
minds think alike.
Never listen to
Don't
them.
listen to your single. If you got a
No
single
offense
girlfriend
to
who's
the
sitting
single
home,
people. No offense to you all, but y'all are in a different place right now.
very different. Take advice from someone who has a situation that you might want.
Did you want to share another before I rattle through some of these?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I went out. I had a breakup a long time ago, and I went out with a guy pretty soon after the breakup, and I spent a little too much time talking about my ex and the breakup.
Ooh, that's one of the
Don't
top
do
things.
that.
I got a big star
Don't do it.
by that
Yeah.
one, but we'll get to that.
I mean, granted, this wasn't going to be like a person that I was going to spend a lot.
Now you say that.
But it's no. But at the time, I was
Okay.
like, and even I even knew it like the minute the date was. I was like, oh my god, I really kind of I messed that one up because I
Right.
shouldn't have turned it into like a therapy session.
Right. Right.
Although, I mean, so make sure that you're nice and mentally healthy if you go on a date and stop talking about your ex. That's no one wants to hear any of that.
So while we go through some of these, thank you, Gina B.
Yes,
Yeah, that was bad.
that was really bad.
That was bad.
That was not a good move.
That was not. If that's something,
Bad
God
luck.
forbid that was somebody you thought could be that person. You
No,
would have
no.
mucked it all up. Right
I
there.
would have. I totally would have.
I want to hear some horror stories. Those were okay. I've heard worse, but I won't repeat anyone else's business. Remember, stays in the circle of trust. So I'm just going to rattle off a few. Some are common sense. Common sense ain't always that common,
It isn't.
even with the best of us.
Right. True.
We're human. We're emotional creatures. So in no certain order, I'll lead off with something you talked about.
Okay.
This probably could be the end of the show. Never, ever, male or female,
Ever.
talk too much about past relationships. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, male or female, you're on a date with somebody you're mildly interested in.
Right.
And it's okay to go out with somebody who's so. You don't know yet. We'll talk about that later. But don't put too much emphasis. It sort of makes that person feel like you're not valuing them and their time, number one.
Right.
And then it makes them think maybe this person's an emotional wreck still, that they still got dude on the brain.
Could be.
And people don't like messing around with crazy people. You're mentally unstable at that point.
Some people like messing around with crazy people.
It depends on the crazy.
Some
what
guys
way.
think that crazy chicks are better in bed.
Men say
I'm just
that,
saying.
but until they act crazy.
Well, it's
Right.
all good until your bunny gets spoiled, right?
To your who?
Did you ever see Fatal Attraction?
Oh yeah,
It's all good till the bunny gets born.
that was. See what I'm saying?
That scared the shit out of men across the country.
All cookies ain't good cookies.
So if you've never seen Fatal Attraction, it's a very old.
Go
movie.
watch it.
If you've never seen Fatal, I'm sure
You
they
just
have it
dated
someplace
everybody.
on Netflix.
You just dated the whole audience. Anybody
I mean,
who's seen
it's-
Fatal Attraction, you just told.
But it's a
Hold on,
classic.
Ryan. You ever seen Fatal Attraction?
It is a classic.
You ever seen it?
It
I've
is
seen
a
it.
classic.
You saw
It is
it?
a classic film.
All right,
It's
all
right
right,
up
kudos.
there with those Christmas movies, right?
All right,
Like,
all right. Let's talk about another.
Frosty the Snowman, Fatal Attraction. Go ahead.
And I'm not stereotyping, in this world of gender equality, but whatever. I believe men are men and women are women. You don't like it, watch another relationship show. Don't think too far ahead. Sometimes men will see that perfect booty and that perfect face and want to make you Mrs. Whatever right away. Women will say, oh my God, he's smart, he's going to make some good kids. You will scare somebody off with that. Even if that's your intent.
Well, you don't know the person.
Absolutely.
And this is why, and people laugh at me when I say this, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I always feel bad for like the beautiful women like Halle Berry and like all the women that guys sort of fantasize about, because these men look at these women and think they know them just based on, if I was with Halle Berry, my life would be, this and that, and she would be this. But she's a person. And she's got her quirks.
All people do.
And everyone does. And
Right.
so you cannot judge by what a person looks like,
Right.
who they're going to be in your relationship. So you're setting yourself up for a real big fall.
Right. Now, the next one is more toward the ladies. If you've watched this show before, you've heard me say this a million times. It rings true. Seem interested in the other person. And I always say, be a kitten, not a cat. Kris, what does that mean, be a kitten? Kittens are what? Playful.
Very sweet.
Kittens are playful. Ladies, don't be a cat. Don't sit there with like you can't be touched and sort of just rub up on. Men like to be fooled with simple creatures, laugh at the jokes if it's remotely funny. I'm not saying not be you. I'm not saying don't be phony, but put on your best face. Imagine it's a job interview for the man and the woman, basically.
Yes.
It's a job interview. You don't even know if you want the job, but you put your best foot forward on a job interview. Same thing with a date.
Well, also, you can't, when you talk on a first date about your life, right? You can't portray yourself as so busy that someone can't get some of your time, right? You can't make yourself seem so impenetrable. You know what I mean?
No, all I heard was penetrate.
Isn't that typical?
What'd you say?
No, my point being that for people who are maybe listening to me, you cannot make your life seem like no one can get in there. Like there's no room for anybody to really kind of either entertain you or be a part of your life. You can't make yourself seem so busy and self-sufficient that no one has room.
Right.
Like there's no room for anyone.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, I'm independent, I'm doing this. It's like, yeah, but you have to, if the goal is to share a life with someone, you have to have time to share.
Right. And listen more was next that I wasn't doing while Gina B was talking.
Clearly.
But this ain't a date. All right. So, but if
No,
I
you don't
want a
listen to me,
date,
no way.
and I said, what'd you say?
You don't listen to me, no way.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
What?
That's a bad thing.
Oh.
Fellas, you never want to do this.
Oh,
Ladies, you
no.
don't want to do it. What? You never want to do this on the date. Especially if he's come out of his pocket or she's there spending her time with you or whatever the case.
You have plenty
don't
of
want to
time
be
to
on the
do this.
phone. Phones are, matter of fact, if you're on a date, leave your phone in the car or in your purse or turn it off.
Turn it off.
And do one of these. Sorry, I want to give you all my attention.
Right. You have plenty of time to be at dinner together, looking at your phone. Be together for as long as we've been together, and then
I mean, now
my
I can
fiance
do.
is always on his
Now
phone.
I'm like this, baby. Smile real quick. Smile
I know
real
that.
quick. Smile. But starting off, don't do the phone thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing.
Well, you got to pay attention in the beginning because you got to just watch for red flags, right? Like if you're not paying attention.
Oh, look at you. Gina B takes no notes, and she's already listed 5 things in here. Let's talk about red flags later, though.
Okay, we'll talk about it after the break.
But you do have to look out for red flag. I want to talk about We got about 5 minutes before we take a short break. And we've been told the break's too long. The breaks won't be that long.
No.
So,
Long
clothing.
enough for Mama to take a shot.
Clothing.
What?
I have my viewpoint as a man. You tell me yours as a woman. So, I think guys, from what I'm seeing out here, again, I'm retired, do not underdress for a date.
Oh, yeah.
If there's going to be a mistake, you'd rather be dressed a little nicer.
I'd rather be dressed.
Exactly. And ladies,
Underboob does not belong on a date.
no nudity. He's there because he showed interest. Don't go the slut route thinking that's how you get a man. And I know popular culture said, well, I'm just how I want it. I'm not dressing for him. Stop all of that right there.
Well, you can't go chumming the waters with...
Did you say chumming? You say such good things. Don't go chumming the waters.
Don't go chumming the waters with your cleavage. And if you want him to like pay attention to your mind, I'm just saying.
That sounds so, but you know there's some women out there like because they thinking about their whole dress.
I gotta wear whatever I want to wear.
I just what I want to wear.
Okay,
that's why your ass by yourself. You better take some notes on this.
Well, that's why everyone's trying to hook up. Like it's
Exactly.
You got to leave something for the imagination.
It is something to be said about luring him or her in, but don't give it all away. That's all I'm saying. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. You got to unveil slowly.
Exactly.
Slowly.
Here is a tip for ladies. Ladies, this is golden, and it sort of goes back to what you said, but fellas, never let this happen. So it's for both sexes. Ladies, if you think this guy might be a keeper, right? Mm-hmm. Offer to pay. Offer to pay. Fellas, if you think this woman is worth having and you let her pay, you are dumb as a box of rocks.
See, there's that.
Because women, that's a test. You offer to pay, it's telling him, because men are simple creatures. We will think, if a woman offers to pay, Ron, I'm like this. Damn,
Man,
she offered to pay?
Y'all over here giving some good advice, honestly.
You like that?
Because I agree with that.
Yeah, and for a woman, that's cool. If I'm a guy and a woman offers to pay, I'm not going to let her, but that's going to really endear her to me.
Okay.
That offer would do something.
Hell
Now,
yeah.
let me
Considering
give
how
you
money
the other
hungry some
side.
people out here.
This is just how I used to operate when I was dating. Okay. Now, if I'm on a date, right? When I was dating, and the check comes, and I offer to pay, at least for my own half,
Right.
I did not consider that to be a date.
Again, if you offer to pay and he let you pay, drop that zero
Then it's
and
not
get
a
a
date.
real hero.
Then it's not a day.
Well,
Then you
know,
drop him.
You said
But if
that
you
was
offered to
my
pay
way.
and he said, I appreciate the gesture, but absolutely not.
No, you're misunderstanding me. So if I offered to pay, I'd made the determination.
Oh, that means you've already decided.
I've decided that that's a no going forward. And
That's cool, too.
Because I never wanted any guy to walk away from a situation with me if I didn't care for him by saying, I took her out.
Listen.
Well, you're a good one because that's 1 in a million.
Exactly. And that's
I
good
just
too.
didn't want that.
That's good too, because at least, even if it doesn't work, he holds, like you said, he holds no ill will towards you. And what's not
Exactly.
good for you, you might tell a girl, like, hey, girl, it wasn't a match for me.
But it could be for somebody
But
else.
it could be for somebody
I don't
else.
ever want there to be a bad narrative.
Absolutely.
But now, years later, I did hear that one of the guys that I went out with and did this with was kind of upset with me because I guess she decided it wasn't a date, so she decided she was going to pay. I'm like, why are you upset?
You probably heard. You tell everybody.
Well, I'm only telling a general
Is this before your
audience now.
Instagram career?
This is before. Before. the
Gina
Instagram
B had a
career.
whole Instagram
I did. I
career.
had one picture. One.
Here's a simple
Go
one.
to Gina's spot. You'll see.
Ask more questions and listen more. Everybody, men, women, babies, kids, children, old people, people love to talk about themselves. So ask a bunch of questions.
Right.
Now, conversely, don't talk about yourself unless those questions were asked. People will find out about you. Women, I don't like judging, but I've seen women will blurt out a lot up front. I got this, that, going that. He'll find that all out. But I would spend
background check.
I would spend that time asking more questions and they don't even have to be necessarily relationship questions. You could ask a question. So, what do you like to do in your spare time? And find out a lot about a person. If they say, well, I like reading biographies
I like
on
big butts, and I cannot lie.
right. Then okay, this person is more serious.
Okay,
if
I'm
they
gonna
say,
listen to the break.
go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna listen to the break with a good question. I want everybody to ponder this. This is the best question for women to ask on a date.
What is it?
You ready?
What is it?
It's a 2-part question.
All right.
It's, do you have a girlfriend? Is there anybody who thinks they're your girlfriend? We'll be right back.
I don't think that's the best question, but we'll come right back in a minute. We'll be right back.
2
minutes.
People up with that.
That was pretty good.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
This is it. Day one. The red letter edition. Big Luda. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. Before I finish breathing, I'm moving the masses like minister speeches, penning classics as I finish my thesis. Not a pastor or a preacher, my passion is deeper. Rapper / teacher, trying to master the teachers past the sinister streets and moving bags past the police is speeding fast in the evening. The truth is, it's all about eating, but I'm feeding food for thought for those either fasting or feasting. Putting faith in my beliefs when I'm speaking, looking straight till I'm decent at peace with no fear, believing it's real. I tell them it's heaven, but it's hard when you talking to niggas with no ears. From clouds of chronic coughing and sessions off, walking and stressing, straight lost in the essence. I pause for a second with my thoughts and reflections. I take my losses as lessons, but it's all just a blessing, and that's the mess. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah, it's not a song. I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, yeah, we can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah, it's not a song. I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, in an instant, friendships in quick in the music business. It used to be just music, now it's just business. The relentless pursuit for loot, dividends and interest, hidden agendas, leaving you defenseless against them. Not to mention intentions to benefit from you penning authentic sentences. Shit for the spinach, niggas done did it. Listen, while you scribbling, picturing images of living on premises, surrounded by fences and different women in silky linens, bending and grinning, intended rentals, you slipping, cause these Vicks is out, tricking your chips in. The game's cutthroat, rules was laid back in the day before rappers got paid by sponsors.
Welcome back to the Kris the Critic Show with the super co-host with the most, Gina B. Today we're going back to the basics. Quick review, we talked about the dating game being tricky, tough terrain these days.
Yep.
Life is busy. We got COVID and pandemics. You got to navigate online dating, a lot of snakes in the grass. So we're going back to the basics, some do's and don'ts of dating.
I got a question for you, Kris.
Go ahead,
before
big
you
dog.
finish. In dating, do y'all believe that you should be dating multiple people at a time?
Absolutely. That was, listen,
It
the
depends on-
first note I just said is that I was coming back into, Ryan, the first note I hit after Gina B, we go back to her question before we left to the half, was date multiple people. Ladies and gentlemen, that does not mean sleep with multiple people. But we'll talk
No.
about that.
So, okay.
Let's go back to your
I
question.
agree. Well, let me just respond to that.
Okay.
So I would say dating multiple people is perfectly fine, but it depends on, as long as nobody thinks you're exclusive.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as everybody
Being honest is,
everyone needs to understand what everyone's doing. Right?
I think that's where people get trapped. At least when I was single, you felt that you almost feel like you have to lie and say, oh, it's just you go on one date and you almost felt like you had to tell a woman, it's just me and you. I'm doing nothing else in life. As you get older, you find out that's not realistic.
Right.
And anybody worth having, trust and believe, somebody else sort of wanted
Somebody
that too.
else wants them, but that doesn't mean that,
Right.
you need to lie. I mean,
You should. My dad, before he passed away, rest in peace, Matt, told me that, hey, man, look, you're not about to meet nobody. If they worth having, believe somebody else.
Someone else is trying to.
Exactly. You know what I'm
But that
saying?
doesn't mean that
I do
anybody
ag-
is.
So I do agree with that. I believe you should date multiple people.
Yeah.
However, I believe if someone's dating too many people at one time, this says something about their character.
You know what? I subscribe to that too. There are a lot of women who would disagree with us because
It's like we can have an agreement that we are dating multiple people when that's okay. But if I just see you just out here, then
Right.
It's like
Dating everybody?
and it depends.
If I see you just dating everybody,
You
then it's
want
like-
someone that has some sort of like.
It depends the vibe I got from
discretion.
some person. I think if a woman had enough game and was like, look, Kris, I just want to be honest. I didn't know where I was going next. I was dating a lot of people, but this, I feel there's a connection here. If this goes forward, X, Y, and Z, that I can almost see. But before we even go on to the rest of my list, because I got a list.
Kris got a list.
Gina B, before we went to the break,
Yes.
you gave women some advice, and that
I
advice
did.
was, what was that advice?
It was ask the question, 2-part question. Do you have a girlfriend or wife? I was corrected in this, or wife.
Shout out to Kay Allen.
Kay Allen. Is there someone who thinks they're your girlfriend? Because those are two different questions.
Now, I don't think that should be the first thing out of your mouth, but
It shouldn't be
absolutely.
the first thing out of your
But
mouth. It should
absolutely-
be out of your mouth.
If you think that this person, well, you should get that out of there. And men too.
Yeah, you should figure that out.
Because men are not the only people out here on the sneak and the creep
Don't
tip.
make assumptions. Ask questions.
So, all right, back to the list.
That list.
That was good advice.
list.
You hear that, ladies? If he's married, you see one of these, or if you think he's slick and you see that
You see a tan mark?
you see a tan mark, drop that Negro. You're lying about it.
That's right. But you know what? Anyway, never mind.
Here's something that I think people are shy in saying. As in your face of a society as we become, nobody's usually scared to say what we want, but I've seen people do this, and I think it's a mistake. If you want a relationship, it's not a casual dating scenario. I'm not saying lead with it, but it's okay to let somebody know
That's perfectly fine.
I'm looking to stop serial dating. I'm looking to date a person. And I think women, especially, I hate saying this, but I've seen women, if they like a guy, well, I don't want to fuck it up by saying that I'm looking for something exclusive. At some point, and again, if you're being a kitten, not a cat, and you're laughing at those jokes and you're making them feel like, then you can pretty much say what you want to say. You know what? I'm not looking to do this casual shit. You ain't about to just be hitting me.
If you want a relationship, you should talk about it. But,
Right.
But I think we're at a point in the show where I think we need to turn this around a little bit.
What do you want to do?
And we can talk about what men should do.
What men
We're
should do?
talking about women.
Men mess up all the time.
Right. And like men
Yeah,
do
that list is
things-
long as hell, but we can go.
But let's
My
talk
question-
about it.
My question was general.
Well, oh, here it was. Shout out to Ron. He has a general question.
What's your general question, Ron?
My question that I asked about the.
Oh, your question was general. Oh, yeah. Your question was general. Okay,
Can I give one more thing for ladies?
One more thing for ladies,
and then I'll leave ladies alone. Because I put asterisks by these ladies because
he got a list.
Because y'all tune into my show more than guys, so I don't really care about them all the time.
Hey, Carrie Steele.
So.
Anyway. It's like Carrie Steele is watching.
Miss
like,
What's in It for the Black People Network?
Yes,
we must be on our best behavior.
Mrs. J is watching.
President of this What's in It for the Black People's Network, Mrs. is watching, so we'll be on our best behavior. And from now on, I'll talk with a lisp for the rest of the show. So, ladies, this is a do and a don't. I rarely say this. It's okay to make the first move. I revised this. I used to say never. However, it's a caveat to that. Don't make it a big first move. I almost say drop your handkerchief, chief. And let him do enough for him to know that it's okay to approach. Because some men these days, especially some good men, are very timid. If I say keep the size of your group down, if you're going out, you don't want to go out with 7 women. That's more competition. 3 is a good number. 2 makes it awkward for him to come over and pull you away. 3 does not. 1 makes you look desperate. Go out with 3. Go out with 3 of y'all total. The other one I was going to say, this for men and women, cast a wider net than you know. If you think someone, let's say you're doing some online dating, and you think somebody's a maybe.
Okay.
But he or she's too thin. But other than that, you should go out anyway, fellas. Ladies, maybe he's 2 inches shorter, but he's still taller than your little ass. Think about it. Just cast a wider net. You'd be surprised at the good people you see out there.
As long as the net that you're casting is like more superficial and not really part of the person, like who they are.
Right.
Like, so if it's a physical thing, right?
Right. I'm going to mention one last thing, and I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to come back to it at the end of the show. Stephen A. Smith asked me, people do say, Kris Critic, what about you? Blah, blah, blah. The question was, how did you get with your significant other? And I will say, if some of us have male and female friends, my person I'm married to was just my friend. We were not dating, regardless of public opinion. But sometimes one person might like another. I am a believer that if that person could be a good friend, they could be a good lover if there's mutual interest. So I'll talk about that. Gina B, you want to give advice to the fellas? What's their first piece of advice? And I'll add to it. I'm going to look at what people say.
First piece of advice to the fellas is, actually, like, plan something if you're going on a date.
Ooh, say it again.
I mean, don't just. I had a guy once pick me up. Like, he went so far as to say, I want to pick you up. And I'm thinking, he's picking me up. He knows what to do, right?
He didn't mean for the date.
He picked me up. I got in the car. He's like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, you drove your ass all the way over here. You have no idea what you want to do?
Yeah, that's horrible. It
was awful. And it was
horrible.
just, I'm like, I'm not going to be the orchestrator of this. You're the one that asked me out. So just have a plan. I mean, women enjoy when men have thought about, how to have fun with you, right? Like that's actually, that's actually a really nice thing.
Fellas, that is a bad thing if you don't plan.
It's horrible.
Listen, worst thing you could do, somebody you could see you moving along with, and I'm not even saying plan something extravagant. Plan. And even bigger than plan, since we're giving it to the fellas, is follow through, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
Not following through on something is worse than not planning.
And I'll tell you what. Okay, so this actually is one of the main reasons why I am with my fiance today.
Go ahead. Okay?
Because he always did what he said he was going to do. Like, if he said he was going to call me at 8, he called me at 8. If he said we were going out, we went out. If he said, whatever he said he was going to do, he did. And so it's the consistency. It's like,
and women are big on that. Again,
because that means you're serious.
I know we're blurring the line between genders these days, But women
I'm
like
not.
seeing some. Just do what you say you're gonna do.
Do what you. I mean, and that sounds very simple, but that goes a long way. Think about all the times, like, yeah, I told her I was gonna call 7.
Yeah, I didn't do what I
feel
said I was
like
gonna
it.
do all the time.
I took a nap.
Not early on.
You know what I mean? All that, but it has to be like the woman has to think that she's important enough to occupy some of your brain space that you actually want to follow through with the plan with her. You're interested in it, and so be interested, and actually like let your walk the talk. That's what I was going to say.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And
I
that's one of the
agree.
reasons why we're together now.
Good job, Lee Farmer.
Good job, honey. I don't know if he's watching. That's actually our joke. Good job, honey is our joke. Let's talk about that.
You got any other for the guys? Because I can give them a few.
You got a few? Okay, well, the other one for the guys is just, we talked about this earlier, but don't be cheap. Like, I understand that if you're dating a lot of people, you don't want to break the bank on every single person you're dating.
I don't think that a first date success or failure has anything to do with the amount of money they spend.
It does not. You are absolutely right. It is the quality of the thinking about it, right? So if you
Right.
thought about it, if you invested time, like I think women are really interested in people who, do you want to get to know me?
Right.
Do you really want to get to know me?
Now, I do think if a guy takes a woman to a restaurant, she picks something off the entree menu. He says, "Wait a minute,
You want
just the appetizer."
menu. Right.
Now that's being too cheap.
Right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that is. I've seen some next level daters playing some cold ass dates in the park.
Right.
Oh, it sounds simple. We see it in movies, but in reality, it rarely happens.
Right.
Where the guy's taking some time, he's made some food or whatever, even if it's some sandwiches, but he made 3 types of sandwiches based on what he heard her say she liked.
Right.
That goes a long way, but it
goes
didn't
a
cost them
very
over $10.
long way. Exactly. Or
I think
show-
it's barcades.
What was that?
I
Arcades?
think barcades. You ever been to a barcade?
See, we
It's
owe.
like a bar with it's like a bar with arcade.
Yeah, those are fun.
Look at me.
I used to
Oh.
I know. I used to love to do that when I was dating.
Oh.
Just like play arcade games, you can kind of, but you want to show
That's
a
tight.
part of yourself, and so just like don't just do the things that you think that she's gonna like so you can get laid. Like that's not. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but really show her part of who you are. Like reveal part of yourself.
Absolutely. Fellas, it's a no. This is a don't do for the fellas, but a do for the ladies,
Okay.
especially in the age of Me Too, fellas. Never touch anyone. I don't care if she looks like she's about to give you something right there. But ladies, if you like this guy, and you're like, man, he's just a little slower than me. I'm not saying grab him and fill him up under the table. But a little, oh my God, that was funny. And you rub a guy's wrist, I'm just letting you know. What'd you think about that, Gina B?
If you rub a guy's wrist, if you talk,
But
you touch
let's
him a little
say
bit.
you told a joke, and I laugh. Let's say I'm the girl. Oh my God, you're so funny. And I just sort of
Yeah.
feel your forearm a little bit. I think that says, okay, I'm interested at some point. I like you.
I'm not trying to molest you though.
And it says I'm not trying to sleep with you too.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because everyone's, it's a risk.
It's a fine line for women.
It's really a risk.
Some
when you
women
go
are
with
more
a guy.
affectionate than others, but I'm going to get to that point. I'm going to jump to the end of the book.
Go ahead.
I did this before I had Gina B. I did a show, and thankfully you're here, so I'll never seem to be too Kevin Samuel-ish. Because I just don't like that dude. He just reminds me of a dude that just didn't get a lot of play when he was younger. So, but I did
wonder what
something.
time
I
it is.
did this show, and one of the things I always say, and it's for men or women too, but more so women, I would always say don't give it up too soon. I think the world today is a little too promiscuous, but I'm an old school relationship host. And don't give me that, oh, well, if men do it, I do it. You want to know why the mug moved on? It's because you gave it up too soon. That's a lot of time, period.
Yeah.
If I can't take you home, if I take you home to my mama and say, Mama, I knew her for 35 seconds and we slept together, and in the back seat after she gave me some
met her at
head.
the club, we
My
went in the
mama ain't
bathroom.
gonna like you, and I ain't gonna be with you.
Well,
Period.
You just want to also. You want to make sure you're not sleeping with a complete idiot. So you
Right.
you want to wait because you want to watch, right? And you want to know the person that you're with. And
Right.
if you make that decision too hastily, then you'll probably regret it.
Do you know any women in your circle of friends who you think probably sleep with men too soon?
I know a few that probably have in the past. I don't know anybody who does it now. But yeah, I know
They don't
people-
wanna tell you 'cause
I
you're on
know
the show?
people- No, that's not it. I know people that have definitely slept with men too soon in the past.
Because there's a guy here, I hear the stories like, man, it was 2 dates, man, I'm banging. I'm really?
Or I know other women who don't care. Like they're sleeping
It's
with
a lot of
men,
that going on.
They don't care. They're just like, he's a throwaway anyway.
And
Like,
that's
they're
fine.
not trying to keep him.
And that's fine.
They're just trying to get it
Just
in.
know that it's harder for them. If when they meet a man and if he gets wind of this, any of this, it's harder for them. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they say when men do it, it's harder. You're viewed as more hoish.
Well, okay.
It is
so
what it is. I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you what they are.
But women don't like men who ran through everybody either. So
Allegedly.
No, they really don't.
Idris Elba
I promise you.
Idris Elba comes through here. If he could have banged 100 women, the 101st woman is going to say, I just went on a date with Idris Elba. Society made that rule.
He's more of a
not me.
situationship than a relationship.
We can-
He'd be
we can
more of a
agree-
situationship.
We can agree to disagree on that.
I wouldn't be trying to keep Idris Elba, but
Lies are told so
I'm trying to
easily
tell
on air.
you. But
Lies,
you
you
should conduct
lie so
yourself.
easily.
Honestly, you should conduct yourself in a way such that, okay, how do I put this? You should expect fully to meet a nice person that's going to want to spend time with you, right? That's what
Right.
that's the expectation.
Let me respond to Kay Allen.
And so
who-
carry yourself so that person won't look at the shit you did back then and be like, ew, that's really disgusting. Like, just, carry yourself such that you expect a really nice person to want to
Right.
date you at some point.
Exactly.
So that they're not just like,
But you will always find that
okay, dirty dick.
men
you know?
or women who want to fight you on this, they out there hoeing.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't want to be.
God damn it! I can slip. I'm still. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
You are so funny.
it is what it is.
how
I'm a retired Jedi Knight level
How?
player.
Heaux.
Player. What else we got for the fellas?
What else
I
got
said,
for-
don't be
we've
touching
got
all over
stuff.
people.
Don't be touching all over. And just,
Oh, ladies and men, you alluded to this earlier. First dates, keep them sort of short. It doesn't take you that long to get. You don't want to be obligated
like
to waste
drinks.
5 hours of your life.
I like drinks as the first date.
Do
because a
not
drink could
agree
be
to say we're going dinner and a movie, and then we're going over here
too much.
meet for coffee or something
Do it.
like that.
And you know what? If everything's going well, it can turn into all of that.
Right.
But if you meet for coffee, I used to like meeting for drinks. And I'll tell you why. Because not only could it be one drink, but you can kind of check out his drinking habits.
Or her.
I went out with a dude. We're talking about men
You
right
told me
now.
about that. What's his name
I
again?
told you. I'm not going to tell you his name.
What's his name again?
I don't even remember his name.
Right.
Anyway, so that's really terrible. But I went out with him and we went to one of those places that has those margaritas that are the size of your head. You know what I mean? Those great big bowl margaritas.
Right.
And he kept ordering extra shots of 1800 to add. And by the time he was done, I swear he'd added like 5 shots of 1800. And I was like, he is an alcoholic.
Yeah, you don't know what type of alcoholic he is. He could be an ass
Exactly.
whooper.
He could be, yeah. What did my friend say yesterday? He has a little bit of tick, tick, bang, bang. Or what? I forgot what she said.
What'd she say?
Something that she has a little
We gotta
tick,
have her
tick,
on the
bang,
show.
Bang. I think you know her. She was talking about somebody else's man. But anyway, so yeah, you can check out their drinking habits because if they can suck back
Right.
an entire margarita with 17 shots of Cuervo 1800, maybe that's not the man for you. Or maybe it is.
What do you
depending on
think
your
about
habits
this?
are.
I know we were on the men, and this is for men and women. What are your thoughts on? I'll give the advice to fellas first, but I want to know women's advice. Fellas, never try and kiss her on the first date. Unless I feel like if a woman I feel women are usually in control. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that. We ask, but y'all are in control. if she leans in a little bit at the end of a date, and you really think it was a good date,
Still don't do it.
you want to roll the dice, go for it. I'd wait.
I would say don't do it.
I would say don't do it. But
Make
I
her
just want to know what
want it.
everybody else's. I think fellas should never do it. A guy is never going to say, no, I don't want to kiss you back. Because we done popped all type of breath mints and all that shit.
But sometimes they do. Sometimes
They
they're
will
just
try.
like,
I wouldn't. I don't like rejection. So I need to know 100% that I'm going to get a win out of this. Before I got married, I was like, what you thinking about? What type of ring? Yeah, if I were to ask, what would you say? I don't like rejection like that. So I damn near got to know. Now,
I'll tell you
I'm
guys
going
a
to
little
win.
secret.
What's that?
Little secret is my own fiance.
And we got 5 minutes left. So you say this, and I got to close out. But go ahead.
Exactly 30 seconds. My own fiance. We were out, we'd been out a few times, and I don't know. I guess we decided we were on a date. So I leaned in to give him a kiss, and he moved and gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Wow, Kay Allen said, "Don't lean in for the first date." I think that was a good move, but
I was like, "Excuse me."
he's top 1%. Hey, look, he's a smooth dude. It is what it is. Listen, we got to close out. Brian Foster is on next, who always brings the heat.
He
So if
brings
you're
it.
around, you got to check him out. But listen, yeah, first off, as an audience, y'all shared nothing. Y'all some chumps. But do me a favor. If you like the show, share Kris the Critic. Tell people next week, hey, you should check out this show. Show's okay. So I need you to do that. But on the relationship advice, and this is for everybody, don't protect your heart too much. All right. And I'm being a little mushy. But
That's true.
you can take it. But you get back in any relationship
Tenfold.
what you give.
Yeah.
So, and listen, you're not kids. Hearts, unfortunately, were meant to be broken. They were meant to be. They can be shattered, but that makes them stronger, and that makes us human. But in order for you to get back, you got to give. So until next week, Kris and Gina B, we out of here. Peace and love. Good luck on the dating scene. Love you all. Hope to see you next week. Kris the Critic, Gina B, we out of here. Peace and love. Thanks, Ron.